What's going on, Bandads? In this video, we are going to be talking about why I switched over from Air Runner to UAS airbags. So let's begin. Believe it or not, but after almost 3 years of running the Air Runner front suspension setup, it has finally come to an end. The air suspension finally went out, and the main problem that I was having was not that the airbags blew or anything like that. What happened is that the strut actually started to bind and cause like a really bad scraping sound. And I don't know if any of you guys have had that issue before, but it was almost like the struts were blown, leaking, and it was dry, and it was just binding as it was going up, down. Whenever you turn, it'd make that sound. So it was getting super bad, super fast. We came to the quick decision. Our buddies at Tire Town suggested that we try out the UAS coil-over bag setup, and unfortunately you cannot rebuild that suspension from Air Runner. So the only option you have is to either buy another set of Air Runners or do what I did and try and go with a different setup. For this case, I only replaced the front. The rears are still on the Air Runner. So with the UAS, you actually get a coil-over bag setup. This allows you to have even more height adjustment as opposed to the Air Runner, which was just a bag, strut, and some dampening settings. You didn't have too much option in terms of being able to set a more higher or lower ride height. I'd also mention that this is not a dual bag setup, so this is a single bag setup. Now, maybe you guys, you experts out there, can let me know, does the dual bag ride better, or is the single one just enough and okay? But let me know down in the comments below. With the UAS, these are hand built from scratch. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to arrive. The front kit alone was about $1,700 to $1,800 shipped, and it was installed by our buddies over at Tire Town. So shout out to Tommy for getting this done in such a short notice. Some nice things about the kit is going to be the milled brackets for the top hat. You also get some stainless steel hardware since this is going to be on the outside. Those are nice, so it won't rust. And the black stainless steel braided hose to run the air is actually a really nice touch and gives it a super clean look. And lastly, this was a bolt-on solution, so there was no customizing, grinding, welding this, that, making custom plates. Everything was bolted right in, just like the Air Runner actually. So now let's move on to my first impressions. I drove this from the shop directly to my house last night at the time of recording this video. One of the first things I noticed was that the wheel tucks a lot more aggressively as opposed to the Air Runner. And what I mean by that is you can see that this thing actually tucks all the way underneath the fender. Before, with the Air Runner setup, it was not doing that. Now, I still need to go and get an alignment done, but I don't think it's going to fix that. We're actually also doing a fan change out on this, so maybe that could be another video I can do. But the other thing I did want to mention is that with this setup, you actually have the ability to adjust your height a lot more. So one of the advantages with the coil-over bag setup is you can raise the car higher, which would allow for you to have a lower pressure in the bag, and then that would actually give you a more comfortable ride. So with this setup, you should be able to get a comfortable ride dialed right in. And to save you guys some time, I have actually put that in the description below as to what my setup was in terms of air pressure and what I actually set the coilover height to. If you guys figure out something that's better than my setup, please let me know down in the comment section below. And lastly, and this was not an issue before, but something that has been mentioned in the past when it comes to doing these bag setups and lowering your car, is the steering wheel has absolutely no shake on takeoff. So if you're at a red light, turns green, and you're starting to go off, it does not shake or do any crazy business. It's super smooth, and it's also very smooth on the highway. So when you're cruising around, no issues whatsoever. So it rides just like it did with the Air Runner. But with that, this is my first time using UAS. But if you guys have some experience with UAS, please let me know down in the comment section below. But let's see if these can outlast my Air Runner.